That's up to you, my man.
Yeah, you got more up there?
Yeah, I'm just going to do some just a general conversation.
I'll call to order the March 25th, 2019 Recreation Committee meeting. We're going to call to order, the roll call. Travis Turner, Chairman Turner, and Councilman Randy Couillard are not present this evening. They're working. Councilman
Joseph?
No. I was going to ask you, will you lead us in the pledge? I realized I'd already done it.
Please stand, bow on here. Dear Lord, bless this great parish, bless this great country. Dear Lord, bless all the kids in this community and make sure they have a safe environment to do their recreation activities. And dear Lord, bless all the armed forces service members who give us this freedom today to enjoy. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If the public has any statement, you get 3 minutes. Make a statement if you bring your card on up here. Okay, in the public comment period, we have 2 speakers. Number 1 is Mr. Brandon. What, number 3?
Oh, okay. You just
Yeah. See, both of us are off cue. Well, without Travis here, we're lost. Mr. Bennett.
How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me and allowing me to speak today. I just wanted to come up here and talk about the skate park. And 2006 was when we started raising support and started myself and a lot of skateboarders started coming to this meeting and tried to obviously get a skate park built here in the parish. For 6 years, we continued coming to council meetings and we continued coming here and we held fundraisers, we held events to show the support for the skate park. And in 2012, we were very fortunate enough with the support of the council and the support of the recreation department and everybody to build that skate park. About a week ago, it was brought to my attention that they were closing the skate park for expansion of the Council of Aging. So it was just very, very disappointing to hear that. We spent a lot of time, a lot of effort. Oliver Joseph, you were part of all that. And I think it was a little over $200,000 that was put towards the skate park. And so it's very, very unfortunate to hear about the demo of this skate park. I had a lot of people call, a lot of conversations with Aaron, yourself, and it's very disappointing, is the best thing I could say. And my question to you guys and everything is to why? Why are we demoing the skate park? Is there alternatives? Is there anything that we can do to save it and to keep it there for the youth of this parish? You know, I was the youth of this parish when I came here and was trying to get this thing built. Now I have 2 great sons, and I was hoping at some point that they would be able to use this skate park. I talked to a lot of the little kids that are over there and the ones that are using it, and there was a lot of people that were, very upset to see this happen. So I'm just coming to you guys to really just consider, obviously, the alternatives of, for one, keeping the skate park there. But also, what are the alternatives so we can work with the Council of Aging? I'm well aware that they're wanting to expand. That was something that was approved by the board. Talking to 2 wonderful ladies the other day, they were very, very polite, and we talked about the skate park and we talked about the Council of Aging, and it was a really good conversation. So it's just, can we work together and what can we do with the recreation department to keep the skate park? And if it's issues with the kids and if it's vandalism, whatever it may be, those things happen everywhere. This isn't the only skate park there. This isn't the only park in the parish that's having vandalism problems, and y'all know that. So we have a few issues here, and we tear it down because of that. So are we going to start tearing down other skate parks or other parks throughout the parish? That's my question to you guys as well. So if we can keep this thing going, we've made a point to these skaters, for one, where some of the issues that y'all are having, I guarantee you they'll police themselves. They will stop this, because it's not the skaters that are doing this, guys. It's not the guys and girls that are using the park. It's the other ones that are coming out there and just doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And it's unfortunate, But just really, really consider, you know, keeping the skate park for the kids, for the youth of this parish. So, thank y'all.
Thank you. And Mr. Devin Graham.
Well,
Are you
right,
clapping
Devin.
for yourself?
yes, always. No, I was, I don't even know if I can follow that. Hell, he beat me to it. That's what I was going to talk about. I don't skate or anything. I do remember when they were raising the support for it. I actually thought they had raised some money, but we just had that conversation. I know they were forced to kind of put it there because the parish owned the land at the time, and we have a bad habit of placing everything we can in the middle of Gonzales and continue to promote Gonzales and make them tax money instead of putting it somewhere else, like in Prairieville, where the majority of the population is at. Aaron, you know that as well. I know at the time we couldn't have put it at Oak Grove, but there are other areas. So the question I do have for recreation or anybody else, and is one, is it really because they're trying to expand, or is it because of vandalism, youth, the kids, and they're kind of tired of it in that area? That's one of my main questions. And we'll follow that with, is there anywhere else we can place this? I know you can't just move these things, and it's going to have to be destroyed. But with all the other stuff we're talking about doing, this is the only skate park. This is the unique thing we have in this parish. We have soccer fields, we have basketball courts, maybe not enough, according to some people, but we have no other skate park. So I'd hate to see this one thing become gone in this parish whenever it was something that, like Brandon said many years ago, was the youth of this parish, and now you're not even going to allow the next generation to enjoy it. So I was just kind of talking about this because that's what Brian and I talked about, and I've heard some other stuff, people speak on it. So is there anywhere else we can place it? Is there another park? Can we plan for the future instead of just destroying the one unique thing we actually have in recreation? So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any comments on
Go
something?
ahead. Me too. Go ahead.
Before,
I'll let Dale go first.
I don't want to answer the public comment, but I would like to make a motion that we put the skate park so we can discuss it on the agenda.
For next month.
On tonight's agenda or next month?
No,
Tonight?
Tonight.
Tonight?
At least we can,
Sure.
I have some knowledge of this here, so, and then from there, we can just ask for the administration portion of it. Oh, I'm sorry. We can request the administration to come, at least acknowledge tell the public why we're doing that. And maybe we have some other solution or whatever. I do not know, but, it need to be discussed so the public know it's just not destroying. I don't think so myself personally. It's just a tear down, so.
Would you like to add this to 3A? Do we have a motion?
A second.
We have a second. We need a unanimous vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll add this as item number 3A. Would you like to save your comments for that item?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move on now to item 3A, discussion of the skate park.
Like I said, it depends on who you talk to, who you listen to, but what I've been told, and I made some inquiries when I heard about the closing of the skate park. I was on the city council when it first came up, or in the middle of when it came up, and when I think it was built. My understanding is that land was always part of the Council on Aging. It's parish property, but it was supposedly dedicated or set aside for their use. And they said, okay, hey, we don't need it now. We got a relatively new building. Everything's going well. So they kind of just stepped aside. And then recently, I don't know whether it's a grant they've gotten or they've gotten some funding. They want to build a wellness center. That's a new thing coming about. And they asked about what would be the best place to put their wellness center. And of course, they don't want to be across town or whatever. And so that I'm glad we're having these discussions. And like Oliver said, we're going to go to the administration, ask them to come to us with an explanation as to why and what the options are. We need to have options to either dismantle it or tear it down, build a new one, whatever it takes, if the public wants that.
Councilman Joseph.
Yeah, Mr. Burnett, I've been here since I got on council. I know you've been fighting for this. And once again, the issue was always the location or where we was going to put this skate park. And one of them, that was not the location that we would like to see that Lamar Dixon. We'd like to see it some other area in the community. And just like Mr. Cagalati said, the problem was the property was never designed for that to be there. Unfortunate past administration, we basically what we did was we satisfied the needs of the community, but we didn't look at it from a long-term view. And now we're caught in the situation, the kids are caught in the situation of, what was that property originally there for? And it was originally there for the counseling on aging. And so now they see they need something to be done. It's not nothing because of the kids vandalizing or anything like that. It's just that we're looking at our senior citizen and to take care of them. And we just need to address with administration and other councilmen to see what we can do and pick the right location for a long-term site. Now, once again, you know and I know that's a political thing that we're going to have to deal with. Is it going to be done tomorrow? No. But I can just assure you that I will work hard, just like I did before, to make sure the kids have a site for a skate park. So that's all I had comment on that.
Just to bring Chairman Turner up to date, we've added an item 3A to discuss the skate park. We've had 2 speakers on it, so if you'd like to join in the discussion, I'll give you a chance, but what would you like me to?
We'll be in there before we get to hear what he's
Yeah, exactly. But, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The deal is done. It's going to be torn down. I know you'd all like to save it, but I'm not going to BS you on this. It's going to be torn down. One of the things that we've already spoken to the administration on is we are going to explore new locations for it. You've heard some of that. We're not going to make a promise that it's going to be this year, next year, the year after that, but we're definitely looking into it. One of the things that I've been thinking about are a couple things. I think we'll get the administration to look into grants. They do have the Tony Hawk Foundation, which provides grants for skate parks. I think we should also talk to the Council on Aging and see if there's something that they can help financially with. I mean, that property was there for the Council on Aging years ago. They need it now. They're going to put it to, I think, by all reasonable standards, good use for a wellness center. It's going to get a lot of use. Maybe they'd be willing to take some of their funds, help us with that. That's something that we need to discuss. Help us relocate the skate park, build a new one. We are exploring, I know I'm personally exploring some locations. One of the keys is to put it in a high visibility area, either traffic-wise, or put an area that is locked down at night. It prevents vandalism. It makes it a safer place. If you have lots of activity going on around it, you're going to have less opportunity for vandalism, fights, drug use, all the problems that the skaters are not causing this problem. It's the people that are coming out there causing, that aren't there to skate, that are just there to cause problems. We recognize that. It's an unfortunate situation for y'all, but don't give up. We're going to keep looking for somewhere else to put it. But we can't make any promises that it's going to be this year or the next year, but it's something we can certainly look into. I would like to ask the administration that if y'all would look into grant systems. There is the Tony Hawk Foundation, just one that I know of from having read about it a little bit. But who knows, Powell Peralta may have something, Vans, all these skateboard companies, all the providers, they may have something out there that we can look into to help us finance this. Does anybody else have anything to add to it? Okay, thank you all very much for coming to speak on this topic. Moving on to, I don't know how this usually works. Yeah, I think I give it back to him now. Yeah, you want to switch places?
Yeah, switch places.
I've never been in this situation before. Totally lost.
You're
good.
You're going to run the seat to the chair of the Recreation Committee.
So agenda item number 4, the Director's Report, B.J. Romano.
Good evening, guys. Director's Report. It's up on the screen. March 25th. Recreation news and notes. Just want to now make some announcements. Additions to our fitness parks are slated to begin soon. Continued improvements to our ballpark playing surfaces were the theme of the last month. Completion of additional fields at Stevens Park and Butch Gore are in the works. We were heavily looking into bathroom expansion solutions at the soccer complex, Polo Park, which is our T-ball park, and Butch Gore, which is our softball park, which all have fields that now have separated so far from the original bathrooms that it's a little tough for younger kids to go from the front of the park to the back of the park for a restroom. So we're trying to explore all options we can for all three of these facilities. We'd like to announce that Oak Grove Park has been closed, for a week or so now, and we close until April 1st. We'll reopen it it was early voting and then regular voting that's going on. Our splash pads, we're slated to, we're going to try to open them up and have them up and operational by the most of the public schools spring break to get opened in. Hopefully the weather cooperates with that. And then we'll announce that Santa Mall Park Pavilion, we've been working on it for a while. It's now fully operational. It's got sensor lights that come on at night, big nice ceiling fans, barbecue grills, picnic tables, and we invite the public to come out, take advantage of that. Leisure, parties, whatever you need to do. It's open to the public, first come, first serve. Recreation is proud to announce our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is for all things recreation. We want everyone to please visit, like, share our page to all your friends so we can reach as many of our citizens as possible. We spotlight all of our parks weekly, relay information such as closures or improvements, and have contact information for all of your questions or concerns. So again, you can find us on Facebook at Ascension Parish Recreation. Baseball, softball report. Baseball and softball seasons on the east side, both threw out their first pitches this weekend with their season opening league tournaments. The recreation crew was out in full force prepping for the upcoming season. Play and surface improvements such as field material was added, new bases, backstop repairs, bathroom flooring resurfaced, new turf, bleachers inspected, and pressure washed. West Side baseball registration is complete. League meetings are in place now to crank it off. West Side Parks also got new bleachers, stadium seating upgrades, new bases, and surface makeovers. We had plenty of weather issues in the last few months. It's been abnormally rainy past 10 months. Until recently, I'm not sure if the public knows or realized, or our council up here, until recently we hadn't went more than 2 days in a row without significant rainfall since May. This did cause major headaches in Recreation's weekly maintenance schedule. Even after we finally got 5 days without major rain, we still had areas that our mowers just couldn't reach without getting stuck. We're happy to announce with the slack in rainfall, we are at about 90% on our lawn maintenance schedule. We are working diligently to get back to 100%, as well as catch up on all our improvement projects that were also hampered. And that concludes the director's report.
Questions? For questions, we'll go to agenda item number 5, the Recreation Summer Camp update.
Good evening. From our last meeting, some questions we had to get answered for approval for our Recreation Summer Camp. One of the things were some legal questions, and we did have a meeting with legal. We met up with him, and he brought up some good things pertaining to insurance and also our ages for our counselors. One of the things with insurance, we are now working with Harry Robert with coverage, and they have gave us some options. We currently have some quotes from them, and we are actively working on getting some maybe other reasonable quotes also. So we do have some things in the works and hoping to conclude that by the end of the week or early next week. We had some changes and additions due to after the meeting that we had with legal. One thing is we're going to do, as far as for the counselors, it will be college-age kids, which will be 18 and up. And one of the reasons for those changes were not only because, of course, a 16 or 17-year-old was young, but also we had to understand that they only can work so many hours a week. So that was one of the things that had us change. And also we looked at the dynamics of the program itself, and if if the 16 or 17-year-old was maturely capable of doing those particular things, then we pretty much came up with the concept that they were not. So at this point, we have counselors that will be college age 18 and up. We didn't exclude the 16 and 17-year-olds. We made them junior counselors, which they still can get paid. They're just on a lower scale and lower hours. The 14 and 15-year-olds still stayed the same. They still will be volunteers, and we will receive volunteer hours for that. Another change that we have would be the amount of kids. I know I was approached about the 80 kids that we originally proposed, but we moved forward. We discussed it, and I think we're going to add another 20 kids to that, so that will get us at an even 100 kids to open up for our summer camp this year. And I just want to reiterate that the program is designed as a template for other programs to come. So being that we may have, I would love to have every kid in the parish come to the program, but being that we're opening up for the first time and want to get used to what we need to do appropriately, we felt like that amount of kids would be sufficient. What we've also added was, with the help of our Office of Emergency Preparedness, is transportation. They actually approved us for 2 of their, I think it was transportation vans that they've used when the Sunshine Bridge was closed. It fits about roughly between 20 to 24 kids. And we're hoping to be able to transport some of these kids from other areas to our program. And we're also looking in making sure insurance and everything is covered as that is concerned. The drivers for these particular vehicles will have to have chauffeur's licenses. They do not have to have CDLs, just chauffeur's licenses. Now, lastly, as far as additions and changes, of course, with all the additions and changes in different employee roles, we had to do a budget change, and because of the increase of insurance. As of now, we are roughly looking at addition. We budgeted for almost, I think it was $600 for insurance. It's about twice that much as of right now. So we will have a change in cost per participant. Original budget was slated for $80 per participant. But we've come up with 2 different budget proposals for $90 a participant, which will be per participant for those 100 participants, and which will give us a least amount of wiggle room in the end. And then it would be, we have a $100 budget proposal per participant, which will give us a little bit more cushion when it comes to supplies and extra costs and things of that nature. So we just need to come to a conclusion of what would be the best option. And most of the increases were due to additions of employees, because we added the junior counselors instead of them being regular counselors, of course. And then we have the 2 CDL drivers. And that's it. Any questions or concerns?
Just quickly, in my simple mathematic mind, you're going from 80 participants to 100.
Yes.
So that's a 20% increase. And
Yes.
if it was 80 per person, it's kind of logically, mathematically, it seems like it would work out at $100 per person. Do you see a problem with getting people to respond and to participate? I
don't think so. I've talked to a couple of parents, and they really thought our original proposal was very cheap. Some of them, I've talked to some of them that may pay daycare, and they pay probably $150 per week compared to that $100 that we may offer.
And how long is the program?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
No, I just wanted to ask how long it was. You answer that question for me.
Okay.
And what location are we going to use, and what's going to be the registration process?
Lamar Dixon, and we're working out registration as of right now. Trying to prepare of dates and everything like that, step by step, especially with not only that, but also hiring, because we will have to do training, of course, and opening up registration and things like that.
And would it be do you think we can get it set up so they can register online?
Hopefully, yes. We have most of our sports online right now, so I think we won't have a problem with doing that.
Other question? With that, we go to agenda item number 6, the Hillaryville Park update.
We're back up.
Dean Tyler, I'm sorry.
How y'all doing?
Get yourself.
I don't have a whole lot of pictures and all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you, we've been fighting the weather out there as well, but as of this week, we have all the frame up and bolted out for the pavilion. We have all the masonry block wall for the bathroom, restroom area is up, lacking the roof and the interior finishing. And next week, we will try to get into the parking and the driveways. We can get a few more days of dry weather and get the stone down. So we're making every lick we can count, but that's where we're at.
Councilman Joseph.
Hey, Dean, I know, like you said, how far we gonna set this back for opening day? Or what you predict?
We're still shooting to be right at the end of the construction date.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna be close. We probably gonna be a few days off with a couple items, but I imagine most of us just gonna be punch list type stuff. I mean, we start skinning out and we wrap up this bathroom, it ain't gonna take long to do the parking lot and stuff. I mean, that's all limestone, so, I mean, I ain't gonna make no promises, but weather permitting, we're gonna do our best to try to get as close as we can.
Cool. All right.
And just for the public, what's that date again?
The 5th, April 5th.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I may as well.
Over there, we go to agenda item number 7, the Ballfield Lighting.
That's going to be me, Mr. Dean again.
Yeah. What we've done, we started out looking at 3 fields, and then we were asked to go ahead and put together some budgetary numbers to go through all 10 parks and all the fields in those 10 parks. And so far, we've came up with budgetary numbers for those, and we're looking at what avenues we can try to find for funding to try to do those upgrades.
Councilman Joseph.
So what those numbers look like there, Mr. Dean?
Well, Mr. Joseph, they look pretty good. I don't have them in front of me.
But you have an idea what those numbers are. They vary between.
Well, yeah, they vary between the parks and stuff. I mean, they got some.
I'm still looking for numbers, Mr. Dean. I'm looking for numbers, Mr. Dean. I'm not looking for, just give me a number.
All right, well, it's in the millions, I'll put it that way, to do all the parks. It's several $1 million to do all of them. The different parks have, different avenues of what it costs to do them. I mean, some of them are in the 160,000 range, some of them are in the 500,000 range. So, it just depends on the logistics of the park.
Okay, so the next meeting, we come here, we will have an update of what the cost per park, or estimated cost per park in our hand.
I don't have no problem with that.
All right, that's a good start. That's the start we need to know.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I don't know, BJ, if you was here, but a couple years ago, I mean, since I've been here, we done spent some money on lighting here. Okay? We done changed some stuff. We done order poles and find out the poles that we ordered was too short. We have spent some bad money in the past. And so,
Exactly.
I know the lights need to be done, but
that's what I'm dealing with right now. Okay, because I wasn't here for all this. It's been a lot of poor planning and stuff, boy. But my biggest issue is, and we'll have, but beyond having your numbers, because I know what they are. It's rough, gauging. And keep in mind that we have two phases. We have, do we just do our ballparks, or do we do everywhere that has lights? Our purpose in doing this, one is safety, upgrading us into the future, but also cost-wise, it's killing us. Like we have poles where there's obviously issues down the line, and we've had multiple companies come and look at it, and they're like, if I start trying to tell you the exact problem, it's going to cost you should already replace most of it to tell you the problem, because it could be in one of 2,000 spots, okay? So, but the deal is there are lights we changed, and 3 weeks later we had to change them again, and these lights are not cheap, and it's because of the outdated systems. Some of our stuff is, even some stuff that recently was replaced, but it was duct taped together. I mean, it was put together with old stuff, you know, and then so that's causing surges or certain things that are causing, you know, things to keep blowing. But the new, we're looking at the, you know, we researched and looked the best. So this LED lighting, the upgrade to that, these things run at a much lower cost monthly. They're a lot easier to work on, you know, because also this weather problem we've had. So we've even had ballparks that we couldn't let people get on because we couldn't get a bucket truck in there to change the lights because it's been too soft, you know. Right. So we've taken all that in consideration because that's what I'm looking at. Since if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. You know, I just had to replace one pole. We had a pole fall down at Sandoval Park, and it was like $16,000 range to get that pole back up. But what we didn't put up another pole that can just be torn down, hopefully in a year when we get everything set up for these lights. Now we went ahead and put up an LED light. And look, it went up streamlined. They come preset, ready to roll. It took 2 weeks for the pole to come in. It took 1 day for them to put the pole up and was on, activated, and working. And you can, if you go up to the ballpark, instantly you can see what light pole that is. You can tell the difference in the lighting, the brightness. Because with these things too, they're much more modernized. And like there's like computer systems that set the lights because they're like 360 the way they display. And so that's why first of all the cost efficiency is down because you're not having to blare a light to reach further. No, they're all set up in a spot where they reach where they're supposed to reach with the exact lumens they're supposed to reach. And you know, like I said, we've researched into all that. So that's what it is. You know, we'll discuss this some more. Like I said, initially had a plan to maybe do this in stages, and we initially had a plan where it was a park here or a park there, or it was just the ballparks and the ones that needed lights add lights. You know, but now we're looking at if we're going to do all of it, we just need to do it all. Let's go ahead and get it because the rest of them are going to keep costing us money. You know, if we got it and you got a company doing it all, let's just get it all knocked out, and we can just clean our hands with that. And you know, in the long run, we're going to start seeing the savings on that. We're going to see the just the overall quality of it all. So.
Thanks for the update on that, but my thing is that we have been trying to fix the lighting for ballpark since I've been here.
Right.
And we have never had a real good plan.
So believe me, I said we are on that because that's, first of all, you know, I dealt with these parks way before I got this job, and I had to complain about that constantly, and it's still not where it really needs to be, and it's one of the top priorities on my list. And again, then once I got in-house, and then I can see how much it's costing me, how much money we're wasting, you know, every month, every year when we're having to replace these things to keep it up, you know, basically to keep on putting Band-Aids on it so it will work, you know. But we have call-outs because then it's not often, you know, but, you know, once a month or once every 2 months, you know, we get a call from the league where everything just went out. Why? We don't know. We go back, we reset everything, you know, so you kind of just do a reset, reboot, and it all comes back on. Why did they go out? You know, and of course, we've had several companies coming. Like I told you, they told us, hey, look, if you really want me to diagnose this, it's going to cost you a lot. Because it's almost like replacing everything. So I'm going to have to go through and start replacing it because everything's daisy chain. You know, so I'm going to replace it all the way down the line until we finally do find the problem. If not, you know, you'll never find it. You know, so that's why we're just exploring this, and it really is a need. It definitely is a need. And like I said, I would like to go ahead and get it all knocked out because I know it takes time, and we got to go through everything we need to do to get the funding and have a game plan. But we're definitely not going to walk into this, you know, in a rush or blindfold or just kind of duct tape it back together. When we do it, we want to do it. I've coached. I've been around 1 million ballparks, and I noticed these lightings last year. Zachary Youth Park is a fairly new park, and it's a wonderful place, and it had the same type of lighting that we had. The following year, I go back there, and these lights couldn't have been up there more than 6-7 years. I noticed that there wasn't very many lights out there, but it was just as bright as ever. And I was like, and I looked up and I was like, wow, there are only like 4 poles per field when there used to be like 7 or 8, you know. And that's when I started researching. Oh, they upgraded to the steel, cost them in the front end, but it's saving them tons on the back end.
Good. Okay, just bring that report back with some dollar signs and
yes, sir.
Prioritize what fields would be where, so we can argue about what field gonna get it first.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I would agree with Councilman Joseph. I was going to add, you know, in addition to your list and the cost, prioritize the fields that need it the most because of either antiquated equipment that's there now or whatever.
There's antiquated, and then there's usage. You know, I've got some parks that are way more outdated than, say, one of my ballparks. But this ballpark's outdated too. Well, there's 1,200 people at this ballpark a night. There's somebody once every 3 months at this other park. So that we already have that. We have it all. I promise you, we do have it laid out. So
I would say lay it out to tell us, inform us which priority is most important.
Right.
Councilman Law.
Marlon?
Yeah, I agree. Thank y'all for putting a plan together on that because, we know this problem did not start within the past year, past 2 years.
I mean, it's the problem with most of our great stuff is we're 25 years behind the scale.
Exactly.
And we're fighting the slide, and we're fighting it, and we're fighting it. And I won't give up because it's my passion. It's what I like to do. I wake up to do that, and I'll keep fighting that fight.
I know it's your passion. I'm hard on it, and that's just the way we are. We both love this. But this problem did not start a couple
Right.
years ago. This is 20 years in the making
Right.
that we have just let things languish. And, we can't give up the future.
Right.
But we got to get this kind of stuff repaired.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see a plan. And,
Right.
I've been talking to some others. One of the things, and this is kind of a future thing, not just with the lights, but every park, I'd like to see that you can bring us a plan, like a capital improvements for it.
Right.
And one of the reasons I say that, everybody knows I've been involved with soccer and playing things there. My kids just finished AYBA, which I want to tell you, they loved. They had a great time playing basketball. It really went well. Everybody, the rest were great and everything. But I was talking to some of the soccer people, and they have some capital improvement plans. They've gone out, they got a grant. And, by knowing what is needed,
Right.
you can go out and get that. We'd love to help with that. If, in the next couple of months, come to us with a plan for every ballpark that we have,
Right.
every playground that we have, because we know we're not going to be able to do it all at once. But there are also certain avenues that, depending on the location and the community around it, there are grants available. I've already been talking to different companies in the region that want to help. Right now we've been talking to companies about helping with the road. They don't want to help with the road. Let them help with our parks, help with our kids,
Right.
put their signs up there, let people know that that's what they're doing. Let it be seen. And this is a great opportunity because
Right.
we have a serious need. And a lot of these plants have the know-how, have the ability, can put some service hours into it to help us.
Right.
And that's but we can't do that without a plan. Put together that plan, but I'd like to see it expanded from just lights to everything, whether it be dirt work, the painting, everything that needs to
Everything.
be done.
Right.
So if we can get-
We're working on that. I do want to say this, guys,
Yeah.
everything, my door is wide open. These meetings are only once a month, and of course, in recent times, we've had several cancellations, so it gets spread out more. Man, you guys can approach me at any time. My office is cluttered, okay? But it's cluttered with plans, constantly, my long shot dream plans of what I want at every park, my let me find the money of the grants to make this part happen, and you know what? We do 90% of the work ourselves, and that's taxing. We're shorthanded as it is with our staff. We're trying to recoup in that, then the weather, but we still, we every day, we redo everything with what we have, and of course, we want to expand that more, and anytime you come, we can discuss anything, because I promise you, every day in recreation, I drive them crazy. They tell me to stop, hey, stop, because you have too much, you want to do too much. I'm like, but I'm never going to stop, I have so many ideas that I think that are, great for the citizens of the parish, we're not talking about, team sports, or just this, we're talking about everything in the world. I have 3 daughters, and 2 teenagers and one really, really young.
What up? Just pitched a great game. I hear.
Yeah. And of course, I'm here tonight, and she was just throwing a no-hitter in the game just now. I think she lost that in the last inning, but I'm gonna find out a little bit. But yeah, so I'm at the parks, especially with my little one. Because I can't. She knows where they're at. She can see street signs and from her car seat, and she's immediately. Because we go there every day. So like I said, my doors are open, and that's my doors. If you can't find me over, guess what? You're going to find me in a park every day doing something about it. And we can talk, and you guys highlight it, because we're a team, and we're all here about making recreation the best we can make it, and all working together. The glory is not my thing. I don't want the glory. My glory is watching the kids at my parks. When I pull up at Oak Grove and see that amount of people at Oak Grove just laughing and having a blast, when I see them at Santa Mall Park and the State Fairground, that's the only glory I need. So,
Councilman Joseph?
Yeah, BJ, since Councilman Lord has made a comment on grants, I would like to, if the chairman don't mind, we put a section on the recreation, and we talk about grants, and we get a report on what grant that we applied for.
right.
What grant we are eligible for, and what's the status on it? I
Right.
mean, I've been here a long time, and be honest with you, the state grant
been
was
rare.
the only one I can recall on,
Right.
and probably that grant with the skate park got from Hawkins. I think it was from So I think for us to answer some of the questions for Mr. Lawrence and myself and the public, that we are going after grant. If we deny, we deny because of what reason? Because it's our financial status or where it is, or, you know, we didn't do something right?
And we'll continue to explore. We'll keep you updated on that. And that's what it is. It's one of those where, like we said, our parks are kind of antiquated and out of date, and they really need some help. But we are, you know, a pretty well-to-do parish in some aspects. And so sometimes it's always just going to be somewhere down the line, one thing that keeps us from getting certain grants. But we're going to keep exploring them. You know, we within the parish, we have our own grant person that we go to through everything. So, yeah, we're still going to.
And I guess that's where I was going. We have a grant department, but we don't hear too much about grants and recreation. So we'd like to know what, you know, are we applying or are we not applying?
Right.
Okay, that's all.
And there's a follow-up. Did we ever find out about it? Can we have anybody sponsor those fields or those poles? That's what is putting their name on them.
There's ways, you know, we'll have to get with legal and everyone else that, you know, how we can do certain things, but and there's certain ways that people can do certain things, and of course there's avenues that can't, you know. But we're every day trying to figure out what lines and avenues to follow so we don't, you know, misstep anywhere on that. But yeah, so.
Okay. And this is a follow-up to the summer camp update. Do we need a motion on that?
Right. We do need. I was going to ask you that if we could see about getting a motion to proceed. So move forward.
Well, you know, I make the motion that we go back to item number 6 to vote on it. That's
I'll second that.
no. I'm sorry. Item number 5.
Number
Is it
5.
Five. Any objection? No objection, the motion passes. Back to item number 5. We need a motion to move forward to recreation summer camp.
Motion to move forward.
Motion by Councilman Jones, second by Councilman Tagnalati. No objection, motion passes. With that, we'll go to agenda item number 8.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second by Councilman Lawler. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.